Texas takes on woke businesses.
Let's bring in former Texas Land Commissioner George P. Bush. He joins us now, who's got something to say about financial institutions that don't want to do business with oil and gas companies. George, good to see you. Tell me what you're doing in Texas, because we've heard something in Florida about, not using pension funds from the state to go to woke ESG investment firms, but you've gone a step further in Texas.
We have. So the legislature deserves all the credit here. Republican run both in the House and the Senate. And last legislative session passed law saying that no financial institution that is in the process of passing this woke ESG climate agenda on the heels of the Green New Deal and divesting of fossil fuels and hydrocarbon development can do business with the state of Texas. So as we say in Texas, don't mess with our state. And I decided to come here to the heart of the financial capital markets to bring that message.
That's great.
But it now comes down to execution. The financial markets are doing it, and Wall Street is exerting as much pressure as they possibly can. But Texans are going to stand by our values, by our principles, and making sure that we defend the cornerstone not only of our economy, but of the American economy and the national security picture, and that's the oil and gas industry. As we found out in Ukraine and now with China, that we need to have a resilient energy strategy similar to what Donald Trump did by allowing us to export crude oil, expanding Keystone Pipeline, and empowering blue-collar workers that want to go out there, dig pipe, and transport not only oil and gas, but these dangerous chemicals that we're seeing in southern Ohio.
Yeah. Passing it's one thing, enforcing it's another, particularly in you live in the People's Republic of Austin, as it's called. But this is something we've been talking about on the show. You've got hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars being spent to fight climate change, which we will never fight. We can take our emissions to zero and it won't make a difference in global temperatures because we can't control China and India. But what about just focusing on pollution and producing clean burning, say, natural gas, and which is prosperity and power for the United States?
Absolutely. As Reagan talked about after the Cold War, the peace dividend is very real. And as Americans, we've enjoyed that for the last several decades. But energy is a big component, if not the foundation, of a strong national security. And so whether it's our partners in Canada or one possible area of consensus with Mexico is creating a NAFTA-focused oil and gas strategy that can come to the rescue of countries like Ukraine or Western Europe, knowing that they're facing a cold winter, they're going to need our supplies, and the rest of the world, by the way. Our friends in Asia as well can be better connected to what Texas and what other oil and gas producing states. But I go back to the working class in America. They're the ones that are being left behind, not only with this train derailment, but the fact that this president on day one issued dozens of executive orders seeking to shut down this important industry that has created so much prosperity, not only for Texans, but for so many Americans.
So what response have you gotten in Texas from the woke companies that want to destroy your state? How are they responding to this bill, this legislation?
Well, they claim, that they're going to take away jobs from Texas. But, as a proud Texan, I can say that we've got a very strong business environment. And there will be somebody behind them more than happy to provide. In fact, I just talked to a community banker in Texas. And they're not as large as the big banks here in New York. But he is more than happy to service the needs of the people of Texas and the government of Texas. So we will find a way. We're a very entrepreneurial, can-do attitude state. And we'll get the job done.
Oh, they ain't coming here. Yeah, I dare you. You ain't coming here, you're going to get robbed and shot in front of the building. Not you, but just...
Well, maybe you
that's
watch out. You got to watch your back.
And then the guy who robs you and shoots at you, well, doesn't spend an hour behind bars.
No, he doesn't.
Good to see you. Thank you so much, George P. Bush.
Good to be with you.
Thanks for being here. All right. Is it the end of the American dream? I hope not. Democrat Congressman... What the heck? You think so? Give me a break.